Thank you for the introduction, Mary Beth. And thank you everyone for being here this morning. As you mentioned, I'm Vivian Vasquez. I work with the EDC, which will be a theme I think that you'll hear through a few of our panel members here. But I'm relatively new to the area, so I just started with the EDC about 6 months ago. I moved here a few months ago, so bear with me if I mess up any of the locations around here. But we've gotten to know a lot of Ventura County, especially recently. I've been going around talking about the digital upskilling program that we have, which is really exciting. So our Assembly member Jackie Irwin secured $5 million from the state a couple of years ago to start this digital upskilling initiative, which is really exciting for the county because it's providing a lot of free training programs. So we have 3 different free training programs that I'd like to share with you all. The first being a computer basics course, which we've been able to train about 200 people so far. And this computer basics course is for folks who really don't have a lot of experience with computers yet. So it's starting out with how to turn on a computer, how to set up your email, how to do a lot of just basic connections and digital connectivity. So that we've started doing adult schools in the area. We have 8 different locations right now. So if anyone in your company is interested in that or needs that kind of training, we could definitely help connect you to that and provide that. And we're also giving out free Chromebooks during that training as well, which is another great benefit for folks to be able to connect and be able to continue using the device after the class ends. And then after that, we have another training course, which is for current workers who are hoping to build up their digital skills. So we're partnered with 2 different training organizations in the area, one being CompTIA and the other being GBL. And through those 2 organizations, we're providing certificates for any workers who may be interested in getting AWS certificates. So those are very useful now, especially for Amazon Web Services, if you're not familiar. And it's also for IT workers. Those are very popular certificates that are worth thousands of dollars. That's a really, really great opportunity for anyone who may be interested in getting some training there. And it's also all completely online and virtual, self-paced. So that would be a great opportunity for anyone, for yourselves or for anyone that you're working with who may be interested in that kind of training. And then last, we also have Get Your Small Business Online, which would be more targeted for this audience as well, for anyone who's hoping to get their business more online or wanting to talk about online marketing, how to think about online reviews and managing that. That's also another course that we're doing, partnered with Women's Economic Ventures and working with them to give out that course. And that's already started, but we do have definitely availability for the next course that will be starting in a few weeks. So those are 3 courses that we have right now. Just to go over them again, we have the computer basics, and then the ICT upskilling for current workers. So those are the 2 certificate programs that we have, and then also the Get Your Small Business Online program. So those are 3 that we're offering right now. They're all completely free. And the second one is the one that's virtual and online, and then the other 2 are in person in different locations in the county. So definitely let me know if you're interested in any of those, and we'll be happy to connect you with them and make sure that you can get that information.
Do we have any questions? Vivian, isn't the Simi Valley Career Institute hosting some of these programs? I think they are right here in town. Some of this training is available. So
yes, so we do have some of the computer basics. I know it's local in Simi Valley, and I can send that location around if anyone's interested.
Okay.
The company for your 3rd training, Get Your Business Online, is assisting in that training.
Yeah, so the Women's Economic Ventures is assisting us with that. And so they're a nonprofit as well who also focuses on business advising. And so they're partnering with us to offer that business advising, as well as EDC is also providing business advising.
Thank you.
Is there another question in the back?
No.
Okay. Any other questions? Any questions online?
No questions.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vivian. Next up is Tiffany Hunsberger, and Tiffany is the loan relationship specialist with the EDC. She helps connect Ventura County small businesses with lending options. And today, Tiffany is going to be introducing the City of Simi Valley's Business Assistance Loan Program for us.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing this morning? Good, good, good. I do have a PowerPoint for you guys, but it's okay. I'll go over the slides that I printed out. My name is Tiffany Huntsberger, and I'm the relationship specialist at the Economic Development Collaborative, known as the EDC. We actually at the EDC we're a nonprofit organization. We were elected by we were formed by elected officials and business leaders. Every single city in Ventura County is represented on our board, which is really, really cool, as well as Simi Valley, which is great. We are dedicated to business services, good jobs, enhancing regional quality of life. We are funded by the cities of Ventura and the county of Ventura. Also the U.S. Department of Commerce, who actually funded our first loan program in 1996 to help recover from the Northridge earthquake. So we've been around for a little bit, and I'm very happy to be a part of the EDC, being able to help businesses in Simi Valley, Ventura counties. We also have U.S. Small Business Administration and other grants that actually help the EDC do these great things for the county and cities. Also, we have a small business development center free technical assistance program, which is great. Our goal is to help businesses expand and grow. We have advisors really to help you with so many things, which is great. And the best part about it, it's free. We also help in the time of crisis. So in the height of COVID, I mean, it was extreme for businesses out there. And yes, there were a lot of opportunities for help. Here at the EDC, we helped over 2,000 businesses keep their businesses open, retain jobs, and avoid layoffs, which was a big thing during the height of the pandemic. We also have one-on-one personal consultation on your time where you can set that up with our advisors. And all of this is confidential service and at no cost. So when you get a loan or when you are applying for a loan with the EDC, because we have many different loan programs, we send you, or we have an advisor matched up with you to help you with anything that you may need with your business, which is great. Our advisors, just to talk about a little bit what they can do for you, is they can help you with your business plan, which is great, getting access to capital, and the best way to do that too. And then also we have a popular one, international trade, which we have a great team with that. Also a great marketing and social media. You know, that is what the time is now. You got to have that social media and marketing really good to get more exposure. And then also a new popular one that we've been getting for the past almost 2 years is getting help with government contracts. So we actually help with that too as well, which is great. So we really have advisors to assist you along the way in the whole process during the loan process too. Now, the loan program, what I'm here for to talk to you guys about. We have an excellent Simi Valley loan program that we launched, and I'm here to talk to you about its purpose. So our goal is to improve access to capital for the businesses in Simi Valley. We also coordinate with our business advisors, as well as if you, so again, once you get a loan or if you're applying for a loan, we instantly see what your needs are, not just with the lending, with other things with your business to pair you up with an advisor. Another reason why we're here is we like to create and retain jobs. It is hard. I mean, especially in the state of California, it's very expensive. So any way we can to help our businesses here, that's what our job is. What our rule of thumb is if we lend you $25,000, we want to see at least one job created. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, well, 25,000 is not enough money to create just one job. But what we're seeing in EDC history is the average is 14,000 per one job created. So the timeline is between like a year to 18 months to try to create that job. So we know that could be a little challenging, or when we're doing the loan process, we will evaluate, okay, maybe they cannot create a new job, but let's have them retain and make sure they're keeping their current employees in their business, which is great. And then, what's another one? Oh, yes, this is a good one. I came from the banking. I worked in the banking industry for over 20 years. The one thing with this is we are not a bank, okay? We are actually, we work with a lot of businesses that are not bankable. We're actually kind of like an alternative lending. So we're not your first choice, nor are we a full service bank. But we don't compete with the banks. And the cool thing about it, we get a lot of our referrals from the banks, which is great. So again, we're not the first choice, but we do look at a whole different variety of things to get you qualified to help with your business. So it's not just like black and white to where it's like, okay, you either meet it or you don't. We really look at the whole picture and the whole history to see what can we do, because our ultimate job is to help the businesses here in Simi Valley. Let's see. Okay, so the Simi Valley Loan Fund, the city of Simi Valley launched a 1 million revolving business loan fund aid in the economic recovery for the impact of COVID-19. The loan sizes are from 10,000 to 100,000, which is great. The general policies and terms and conditions are lending is only available for Simi Valley businesses. So what that means is this particular loan fund is not for startup businesses. Okay, it requires a minimum of 20% ownership invested. The loan requires the business to retain or create jobs. The funds can be used for equipment financing, working capital, or to secure a location here in Simi Valley. Now, to talk about ineligible uses, now I said that this has to be an existing business, so it cannot also be a home-based business. So if you want to apply for this loan, you cannot be a home-based business, but don't worry, because we actually have different loan programs with the EDC that can help home-based businesses and startups. Actually, 50% of our loans that we have given out have been startup businesses. But just this particular Simi Valley Loan Fund, you have to be an existing business in Simi Valley.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you repeat that, that where the money can be used for equipment financing, and you said a couple of other things like.
Yeah, it's equipment financing, working capital.
Okay.
And if you want to secure a location on a building, remodel, which is great. So
Okay, thank you.
yeah, so it's really cool. Other things where you can't use this loan fund is on casinos, gambling, any business that is illegal. But other than that, you can use this fund if you're an existing business. Okay, the loan criteria. Minimum loan term is 7 years, which is great. And then check this out. So I know that all the businesses have been aware of the current interest rates, right? Right now, are they high or are they low? They're pretty high. If it's personal, if it's mortgage, or if it's business, oh, I remember when businesses were like, you know, way lower than what they are. Well, here at the EDC, our loan rate is 5.25%. Let me say that again, 5.25%. Right now, currently is our loan. We are actually, traditionally, we are pretty low compared to the rest of the market. So this could be subject to change by the end of the year, slightly a little bit. We will not be as high as the banks, but we will probably increase by the end of the year a little bit. And another thing is our rates are fixed as well. So once you get the loan, you don't have to worry about, you know, all of a sudden some balloon payment or interest rate jumping. It is fixed once you're locked into the loan. Also, the collateral. We look at businesses' assets. You know what I mean by that is your equipment or your inventory. We also look at, if you don't have enough of that, we also go into personal assets as well. And what that is your home, really no cars, but typically your home would be one. So we really value assets. Another thing that with the EDC that we're really excited and happy about is all of our loans are loan guaranteed. So all of our loans receive guarantee of collaterals, support and security through a couple of our state programs. 2 of them, iBank and CalCap. So they actually support businesses and give a 80% guarantee on the loan. So that's why we're able to be kind of like an alternative lending. Some business that's really not bankable or has all of the documents that would be required for the bank. So we have a little bit more leniency to kind of lend and really help the businesses. Our EDC underwriting criteria, our lending biases for this is strong business plan, significant cash flow to support the debt that you're requesting, character and demonstrating paying on the business and personal obligations. And again, the EDC has a small business development center to meet with clients to help with the business plan, which is our advisors. Let's get that page. Okay, so then also too, for the business plan, we are not looking for a 50-page business plan. We have a very small team. We have 3 of us, me, Vicky and Marvin for the loan team. So we're looking for maybe 2 to 3 pages, including in this is an executive summary discussing who, what, and the need of your business. Relevant marketing research, your competition, which is good to know, your go-to-go strategy, and most importantly, a marketing plan, operating plan, financial plan, projection, and narrative. That's a little bit about what we would want to see on the business plan. Element of good deals. So the EDC has funded over 150 deals in the last 11 years with no default in our lending. So we take pride on that. And the common themes that we're noticing with this success is strong industry experience. These applicants have strong industry experience, 5 to 10 years, skin in the game, 20% equity, all in with the collateral. So they don't have pushback on the collateral behind what we're lending to them, and willing and eager to meet with an SBCD advisor. Now, lastly, the loan process is 4 to 6 weeks to get the decision, sometimes slightly longer depending on the volume. So I can tell you right now, because of the high demand, is looking at 6 weeks for sure. Loan signings are held typically a week after approval and then funding shortly after. If approved, we expect the clients to stay and work with the advisors. It's really going to help you as well, and their free services, which is really, really great. So that's a little bit about the EDC and the Simi Valley Loan Program. So thank you so much for having me. And does anyone have any questions?
Yes, we do have one question on Zoom.
Okay.
Are there any prepayment penalties for those loans?
No, there's not. No payment penalties. Good question. Yes.
Can we have your PowerPoint emailed to us?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I will email it. Can I send it to you and you can start that in? I'll go and do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
So you mentioned alternative lending, not the first choice,
Mhm.
yet your interest rates will be more favorable than banks. So
The reason why yes, that's a great question. The reason why we're allowed to do that again is because we are guaranteed. We can do more of the risk. That's why we're slightly going to raise up the rate by the end of the year, because we are much lower than the other banks. But we're able to do that because we don't want anybody to default ever, but we have an 80% chance, we'll have an 80%, we're going to get 80% of that money back. So we're able to have the rates a little lower, it's okay. And then have, what am I trying to say? Like have a little bit of risk to that and not having to raise up the rates as much to compensate.
would the guidance be to a business to start with a bank, and then if that doesn't work out, then come?
Yeah. I would definitely, because a lot of our referrals come from banks. I mean, I was a branch manager for 15 years and I never like to have my business client leave. Like, I'm sorry, we can't, it's a turn down. But I knew of programs like the economic development to send over for alternative financing to where it's not high rates. If you think of alternative financing, usually those rates are like 20%. We're not about that. Our job is to help the business clients, not take from them. So yeah, I would definitely start from the bank, but also too, you know your business more than we do. So if you feel that, you know what, I don't want all these things on my credit, I want to go straight to the EDC, do that. Because if you know what's on your business credit, how much your cash flow, revenue, you know that. So you know, like, hey, the banks, I'm kind of seeing the outline of what they're wanting. I'll come to the EDC first. And then after us, yeah, I'm sure, you know, other loans you can go and get.
Thank you.
Great benefit.
Thank you, Tiffany. That was great information for us about loan options available locally. Our next speaker is also from the EDC. It is Anthony Elliott. And Tony, as he told me I should be calling him, is a CPA with over 30 years of public and corporate accounting experience. Today, he will be sharing with us information about how you might be able to take advantage of the COVID-19 related employee retention tax credit. We're eager to hear how we can get all those dollars.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Good morning. Raise your hands, please. How many people are familiar with the employee retention credit? And how many have actually recovered or applied for the employee retention credit? Okay, great. Yeah, so the employee retention credit is one of the last COVID-related programs that are available to small business owners. And I'm going to provide information at a summary level. I'm happy to answer any questions. But let's start with, think of it as up to $26,000 of qualified wages per employee. That should be one of your takeaways. Of course, there are some exclusions. Okay, of course, there are some exclusions, and we can talk. So the business owner themselves, if they are on payroll, and an employee of the company, W-2 wages. W-2 wages is important. Independent contractors, if a business owner has an independent contractor, the independent contractor would not qualify, but it's W-2 wages and up to $26,000 of qualified wages per employee. And so here, there are three ways to qualify for the employee retention credit. One is a reduction of revenue in 2020 and 2021 compared to the base year of 2019. And for 2020 on a per quarter basis, the requirement is to see a 50% reduction in revenue on a quarterly basis, say the second quarter of 2020 compared to the second quarter 2019. And then later, the employee retention credit, that program changed and was modified over the COVID period. Originally, there was a provision that if a business owner received PPP, they were not eligible for the employee retention credit. That later changed, okay? And there are many people who are still of the impression that they are not eligible because they received PPP. The second way to qualify is for the business owner to have been under full or partial government shutdown orders, either at the county or state level. So in California, as an example, the shutdown orders came to an end on June 15th of 2021. Many business owners qualify on that basis. The government shutdown order, social distancing. Initially, there was a period of time in which the business was closed completely. With respect to restaurants, there was outdoor dining and takeout orders. And then, of course, over the period of time for restaurants, if I recall, it was maybe a 25% indoor percentage of occupancy, I guess. And so, but yeah, and the third way to qualify, so, excuse me. So for those businesses that started during COVID, and I met and consulted with a number of business owners that were affected that way, where they, one, as an example, had invested upwards of $500,000 and pulling money out of their 401k to fund a C Corp. And their opening was in March. And it was that time period, March of 2020, was a real bad time to start a business. So with the CARES Act, and as the employee retention credit was subsequently modified by 2 additional congressional acts, business owners who started and had reported revenue after February 15th of 2020 could also participate in the employee retention credit. And that provision extended through the 4th quarter of 2021. So again, $26,000 of qualified wages covering the period of the recovery per employee is up to $26,000 of qualified wages for the period the 2nd quarter of 2020 through the 3rd quarter of 2021. In California, the shutdown order ended on June 15th of 2021. So that would could possibly exclude the business owner from participating in the 3rd quarter. However, if the business owner had a 20% reduction in 2nd or 3rd quarter sales compared to 2019 sales, they would qualify for that 3rd quarter. So, and there's also the provision of supply chain disruption. It's business owners who were unable to ship product that for which their suppliers were US based, and the product, the materials were produced in the United States. That's another way to qualify. There are multiple and a number of ways to qualify. The employee retention credit there are carve outs. Are they carve outs? But they're special provisions. And it's the act itself is over 100 pages. And so you would expect some carve outs in a document of 100 pages, wouldn't you? Yeah, so the business owners are able to apply and recover this $26,000 of qualified wages per employee up to April 15th of 2025. So 2020, any recovery associated with 2020, the deadline for applying is April 15th of 2024. With respect to 2021, the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, and 4th quarter, if it's a startup business, the deadline to apply and submit your amended 941 payroll returns is April 15th of 2015. Okay, I said that intentionally. I was waiting for something. I'm sorry, that was a mix up. April 15th of 2025. Let's see. So one thing, the EDC, I'm an advisor with the EDC, and we help business owners navigate through the process of qualifying for and learning more about how they qualify for the employee retention credit. We suggest that as part of the process of submitting your amended 941, which are your quarterly payroll tax returns, that you consult with your payroll provider, your CPA, and there are a number of providers that are in business exclusively to help business owners with their employee retention credits. Some of these providers are charging between 10, 15, 20, and even 25% of the recovery. And so the idea and the recommendation that the business owner meet up with multiple providers and before they make a decision, I think that that's important. And the EDC is available to assist the business owner with learning more about the program in terms of how they qualify and walking them through the process. I probably had upwards of, I guess, maybe more than 100 sessions with business owners on employee retention credit. And the business owners that I've worked with have recovered on, let's say, a small business with 2 employees. They could potentially recover, say, a good $20,000 per employee, depending on, based on qualified wages, the eligible wages factor. On the high side, some of the business owners that I've assisted with navigating through this process have recovered in excess of $1 million. Any questions?
So these dollar figures, tax credit for final payout, or?
That's a very good question. So the recovery, so you'll actually get a refund from the IRS, and it takes 4 to 6 months to get that refund. That the amount that you receive as a credit represents taxable income to the business owner. So if it's let's say it's an LLC, flow through entity, or an S corp, so the business owner would actually have to amend their business returns as well as their personal returns. The recovery is taxable to the business owner. I'm glad you asked that question.
So when you say 26,000 per employee, that's wages that are credited, or that's what you get back in credit?
That's what you get back as a credit. So as an example, let's say there's an individual, the business owner, the employee earns $60,000 per year. And so that business owner would be able to get the maximum recovery of $5,000 in 2020 and $7,000 per quarter in 2021. With the exclusion of the third quarter. So you're looking at someone of W-2 wages of, say, $60,000. I'm not factoring in PPP, because PPP represents a reduction to qualified wages. But in this case, $60,000 W-2, $5,000 recovery for 2020, and then $7,000 for the first and second quarter. So that's $19,000 for that one individual with W-2 wages of $60,000, assuming that the business owner, of course, qualifies under revenue reduction or full or partial government shutdown.
We have got to kind of move, right? But we do have a question for line.
One question is, what if we're a nonprofit?
Nonprofits qualify also. I assisted my church with their employee retention credit.
Okay, and is there another one?
Yes, the one, you want to do the one.
Well, we'll do that later.
Okay.
Okay, we're moving on to the next speaker. Thank you so much. That was great. Okay, our next speaker is Kirsten Bassey. And Kirsten is a placement project specialist and job developer at Moorpark College. She has 25 years experience in student programs, internship preparation courses, and career development. Today, she will be speaking with us regarding subsidized internship opportunities available with Moore Park College students. There you go.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Thank you for coordinating this and for everybody here today and for those joining us virtually. I will resist temptation with the microphone in my hand not to sing Moon River.
I'll do it.
I'm Kirsten Bassey and I'm from Moore Park College and I work with students and employers. So we have an internship program. It's called the M80. It's quite robust. Our students are either required to have an internship for their major or they just want the real life work experience. A lot of our interns either work on campus for faculty doing a variety of things, whether it's research or some initiative. We have everything from accounting to exotic animal management training. Yes, we have a zoo on our campus. So our students are very well involved with their major, with their jobs, and with what they want to do with their career. Moore Park College is a 2-year college, and we have a lot of students who transfer to 4-year. But within those 2 years, they can also receive certificates and be involved in programs that give them real world work experience from depending on what it is their major is, like cyber technology, biochemistry, biotechnology. Our STEM Impacto program right now is bursting at the seams. So with that said, our students who love to intern and our faculty who know our students so well, we have a great advantage for employers. We have grant opportunities that subsidize the payroll and can help employers offset the payroll burden by placing student interns in their place of business. So how does this work? How does all of this work? Well, as you all may know, with various grants, there are various qualifications depending on the grant. We have Work to Learn, the Julia Brownlee, the Office of Navy Reserve. We also have LAPE, which is up and coming in the state of California for all community colleges and UC schools. LAPE is an acronym for Learning Applied Educational Program. And that is funding for student internships. That is, you're probably going to hear more and more about that rolling out as schools learn how to work within those confines, within their systems to pay students. So how does this work? An employer needs additional assistance, whether it's administrative in the office, whether it's social media, whether it's something to do with whatever it is that your industry has. And you need additional help. You need maybe anywhere from 20 hours a week to maybe 10 hours a week. We can help. We can help you place students who are qualified, educated, and really want to learn. And we, depending on how the student qualifies for which grant, which we figure all of that out for you, then the student can be placed and we can offset the payroll. So let's say you're an employer and you need help in your office or in your business. Reach out to me and say, I need help. I want to place some student interns. Here's the job description. And then from there, what we do internally is we take that and share that with our faculty who know our students the best. And they recommend some very qualified students. From there, we will send you, the employer, resumes for consideration. If you want to interview these students, vet these students accordingly, and then choose to hire these students, you reach out to us, you let us know, and then from there we process. We ensure that the student qualifies for the various grants, and then we manage the timesheets, we process the paperwork, and the student is invested. So the student has to complete their internship hours to get academic credit. And it is not a no credit credit. It is a grade bearing credit. So they need that for their GPA, and they need that to transfer, and they need that to complete their major. So all that to say, I think that this is a very creative way for business owners, large or small, to boost their workforce. It is also a great way to offset your payroll. And it's a great way to really encourage and mentor and teach students these jobs, this real life experiential learning, so that they can stay in our community, help build our community, and be invested in our community. You are the leaders and they need mentors. So this is just a great partnership opportunity for everybody. Our fall term begins August 14th. We can place students as soon as August 16th. So we can start right away. The student can intern up to 20 hours a week. The student can intern longer than one semester. The student can earn, up to 16 credits while they're there. So for every 1 unit that is paid, it's 75 hours. So they could do 2 units in 150 hours. We can even go up to 300 hours per semester. So you have option, you have flexibility to what works best with you, what works best with the student, and go from there. We manage everything internally for you. We manage timesheets, we'll do site visits, and we expect that you will be involved and help supervise and teach the student what it is they need to learn in their professional career. Yes.
I want to clarify, you said to offset the payroll, are these non-paid internships, but they're getting paid via the credits that they're earning for their majors or certificates?
Great question. So they'll get credit no matter what, but we want them to be paid. So depending on the grant that they qualify for example, the Work to Learn and the Julia Brownlee, it pays $17.50 an hour. So that's what we will pay the student. And so there is no cost to the employer for that. For some of the STEM Impacto interns falling under their grants, specifically, it could be $18.50 or $19.50, just depending on the grant qualification for the student. The student needs to fall under different categories to be acceptable for that grant. And then we pay them. You guys don't pay anything. And it also covers, when we arrange this, it also covers workman's comp. So that is covered completely by us as well.
So that maybe answers my question, but so they don't actually wouldn't show up on our payroll
Nope,
at all.
no
You
ma'am.
don't need to you don't need to 1099 them, et cetera, et cetera. You take
No
care of-
ma'am. No ma'am. We provide you a worksite agreement. It's a template document provided by the foundation. And basically it's an agreement between the employer, the student, and the college that just says, we're going to provide you the workman's comp. This is the student's job description. This is the student hourly rate, pay, and duration, start date, stop date. And that's basically it. And we manage everything else. The supervisor is responsible for providing evaluations at the end, just so that goes towards their grade. So the faculty advisor, they are assigned a faculty advisor throughout the entire process. They have learning objectives that they're required to fulfill, papers, essays, and whatnot, because it is academic bearing. So they need to make sure that they do all of those things. And the faculty is heavily involved. We also have an internship specialist that guides the student through that process and keeps them on track. So really the employer is just there to teach them and give that professional guidance and mentorship.
Any other
Handle everything
questions?
else.
How, can the hours vary by semester or by?
Absolutely. So it's really what the need of the employer is and the availability of the student.
Okay.
Sometimes students have 2 jobs, plus they go to school. So it varies. They would like to, lean heavier more into their internships and let go of their jobs so that they can, transfer and leverage for their next step. So we leave it up to you guys, whatever works best for you.
And how often do students actually go from multiple semesters with the same internship?
often. It is often, and then a lot of times we have those great success stories where the student is actually placed there. So that is something that is really a success
We
story.
have one other question over here.
I was wondering the degree, so the employer is in supervising? Is that the supervisor that you're talking about?
So the on-site employer will supervise them while they're on their job, make sure they're doing their job, you know, showing them the
And
ropes.
that coordinates with the grading system. So is there some?
Yeah.
I assume there'll be some sort of standards, you know, that would be given
Absolutely.
to the supervisor. So
Absolutely.
that the business owner knows what they're supposed to be doing.
Absolutely, and we provide that to the employer. It's pretty straightforward, you know, just to supervise them in their role. Are they learning? There's some prompt questions. Are they learning? How did they improve? Areas of improvement, areas of success? Would you recommend? Would you hire again? You know, basically, transition, you know, from a regular staff member.
Thank you
Good
very
question.
much, Kirsten.
That was
Really wonderful. I will share with you all that I had an intern a couple years ago, and it was a wonderful experience for me, and I think for the student as well. But it was, I commend you to think about finding a place for a young person in your business. So our final speaker is Cynthia, and I should say thank you, Kirsten. Really.
My pleasure.
Our final speaker today is Cynthia Ogg. And Cynthia works for the Workforce Development Board's Business Solutions Manager. She is the Workforce Development Board's Workforce Solutions Manager. And she administers the Workforce Development Board's on-the-job training program. And the program provides financial incentives for businesses to hire and train new employees. This morning, Cynthia is going to share with you how you can take advantage of that program. Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you, Mary Beth, and thank you for having us
Our
today.
pleasure.
How are we doing on time?
John, how are we doing on time?
Fantastic.
We're doing fantastic. Awesome. So let's take a quick deep breath then, because we're gonna listen to a little bit more of information. And I know it can get very overwhelming, but all you need to know is that you can connect with me or my colleague Colleen. We have cards and we can provide you all the information at a slower pace and all over again. So no need to retain or remember any of the information. The good thing also is that we can also connect you with any of our colleagues here and help you with that information as well. That's the wonderful part of having a network of workforce related colleagues. And so again, I'd like to thank my colleagues here for doing such great work that they do. We do it because we love the work we do. So I think all of us can agree in saying that, but thank you. So let's get to the good part now. Very similar to what Kirsten said regarding their incentive program, the Workforce Development Board also has a series of funding also for financial incentives for employers. So what does that mean to you? We have people that come into the America's Job Center. By a raise of hands, how many of you are familiar with our America's Job Centers located in Oxnard and Simi Valley? Okay, that's a conversation for another day. We have two centers where people come in after they're either looking for a job or have recently been laid off. Okay, and so after they come in, they are assessed and they are either provided an opportunity to enroll in one of our programs to obtain vocational training through one of our local schools, and then are offered to be paired up with an account executive, excuse me, and the account executive has those employer relationships and will look for the perfect opportunity for that candidate. What does that mean for you? If you have an open position, you can reach out to one of our account executives and look for the perfect match. Once you've found a match for you, you can obtain up to a 50% reimbursement for a training period of 3 to 5 months. Now I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Recently, we obtained an acceptance on a waiver that allows that reimbursement to be up to 90% for those businesses that have 50 or less employees. Okay, a lot of information, I know. But so stay tuned for that as well. So the first thing that you would do is connect with us to let us know that you have an open job position, and we would walk you through the different grant opportunities and the different length of opportunities that we have available. Again, all depending on the funding and the grant opportunities available at that time. Okay, so a few of the other services that I want to go through. Do we have any questions regarding OJT? And we'll circle back around. And OJT is the on-the-job training program. Yes.
And who are these people?
So again, these candidates are coming in from either walking in through the America's Job Center looking for a job, and also after they've been laid off. One thing to note is that our America's Job Center is associated with the EDD department, and also people who are currently receiving unemployment. So people who are currently receiving unemployment are receiving information of all of our services. Actually, if you're on unemployment, you have to register for a CalJobs account. That's a conversation for another day. But through that same avenue, you will also receive information on how you could become an enrolled job seeker with our services. Now, after becoming an enrolled job seeker with those services, we go out and we partner you up with an employer. Any other questions? Okay, so I have a few other perks for you that I want to provide. We also have a virtual hiring board available. What does that mean? It's a local virtual platform that has open opportunities and job seekers, again, that are being enrolled into our services, that are walking into our America's Job Center, that are participating in our job fairs. We encourage those job seekers to enroll in our virtual hiring board. And on that same note, we also encourage our employers to visit our virtual hiring board and sign up. In that virtual platform, you could look through resumes, you could chat with them, you could do video interviews. So it's a great platform for that purpose. But also, if you're interested, we could do a virtual job fair using that platform as well. And yes, so that's our virtual hiring board. Any questions? All right. We also have an HR hotline, HR dedicated hotline at no cost for our employers. So, you know, specifically right now, we had a lot of changes, lots of labor law updates, COVID related, that's still changing seems like just about 2 weeks. So if you ever run into a place where you have a question regarding anything HR, labor law, hiring, firing, so on and so forth, if you don't have the answer for it, you can call the HR hotline at no cost, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and get an answer for your question. Okay, this is particularly helpful for smaller businesses who don't have a full HR department. And even if you do, our HR people sometimes don't have all the answers to all the questions, and that's perfectly fine. We have that service, and Colleen has some flyers for us as well. Also, the beautiful thing about all of this information is we have a new digital business service guide, and we have a flyer with a QR code that you can also access on our website. So again, all of this information will be available to you. Employers, we also offer webinars. On July 18th, we will be hosting our Inspire Them, Don't Fire Them webinar. So these, yes, I know, very interesting, and it applies. So we will be hosting that virtually, and it will be at no cost to employers. If there are any HR professionals that are looking for HRCI credits, we also do provide a few HRCI credits for attending those webinars. And again, you could see us or Colleen or our website for more information on that. The next thing I will talk about is our rapid response services. If you, or your business or, anyone you know around you is experiencing a layoff, then we also provide the benefits and rapid response to those employers. I'm the rapid response coordinator in the area, and what that means is when there's a layoff, a massive layoff, or a layoff that meets the criteria, conversation for another day, they call me. And I go in and provide a presentation for those affected individuals and tell them about all the services that are available through our workforce services. So on that token, and on that same token, if you are thinking that you're heading that route, you need help, you don't want to get there, connect with us, because with our services and those services provided by our partners, we can put a plan together to hopefully prevent that from happening. But if you need that, happen to need those rapid response services, they are available to you as well, and the affected individuals. Like my partner Kirsten, we also provide youth programs, which provide internships and subsidy financial incentives for employers who are looking for a project-based internship, and that usually looks like 100% of the pay for about 100 hours. And again, everything is like up to 100% for up to 100 hours. So if you're interested in providing and receiving, excuse me, an internship with one of our youth programs, you can also connect with us. We also have our incumbent worker training program. If you have existing employees who need training in whatever it is, whether it be soft skills or if it's technical training, if you have a manufacturing company and you need technical machine related training, come to us and talk to us about the possibility of providing that training for your employees. This is part of our layoff aversion services. We want to upskill your employees at your place of business so you can work more efficiently and more productively and keep your business vibrant and continuing. And that incumbent worker training can be provided depending on the size of your business for as little as 10% of the cost. We will cover the remainder of the cost. And again, that goes from 10% to 50% of the cost, depending on the size of your business. Okay. We also have work experience funding placements. And again, these are short-term placements covered at no cost to the employer, very similar to what Kirsten said as well, with different targeted populations. Like my colleague Tony, we also provide information on a few payroll tax credits. By a raise of hands, how many of you have heard about the Workers' Opportunity Tax Credit? Yes, one person. Okay, so WOTC is a federal tax credit, Tony.
Okay.
What the WOTC? Call him. Federal tax credit, employment groups with significant variance. So this is going to be if you hire anybody who has been recently or just as involved, recipients of certain assistance like SNAP, veterans, individuals experiencing long-term unemployment or social SSI. So these are some of the target populations that this Workers' Opportunity Tax Credit provides an payroll incentive for. So we can provide you some information on that. And we also provide information on the homeless hiring tax credit. So if you happen to hire somebody who is housing insecure, you can also receive a payroll tax credit for that hiring. And I guess one more thing is, again, to mention that we have those two beautiful buildings, the America's Job Center. Our main facility is located in Oxnard at the River Park area. And we have another one in Simi Valley, off Madera. And those spaces are available to employers for targeted recruitments, for job fairs or for any type of hiring and sourcing event that you would like to have. And so I encourage you to get in contact with us. I have a wonderful colleague, Colleen, back here, who's our business solutions representative, and she will take care of you. We will both take care of you. And if we don't have the answer, we can't provide the solution for you. We also have wonderful colleagues that we can stay in touch with and connect you with them as well. So I think that's it for my information. I'll take any questions if we have any. And again, Colleen has the information with the QR code for our business service guide so that you can remember the information that was provided today. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Tiffany. That's great. I'm sorry, Stephanie, because I'm thinking about Tiffany, because we have a question on Zoom that you didn't get. Okay, so. Okay,
Is there an expiration or time limit for applying for the Simi Valley EDC loan?
No, it's actually first come, first served. So it's a revolving line, so first come, first served, no expiration date as of today.
well, I hope that you all found the information that was shared here today helpful. The chamber really would like to make this kind of a regular event and find sources of information that will be helpful to our businesses. But we really could use your help as we design these programs going forward. So each of you at your place and in the chat box for our friends on Zoom, you will find a 5-question survey. And if you could answer that survey and turn it in before you leave, or if you can send it to us through the chat box, it will really help us design our programs as we go forward. Also, as you leave today, we have a table that is on your right as you exit, and our speakers have flyers there. The chamber has some flyers there. Please take a look and pick up anything that you think would be useful to you. And as best I can, I will send PDFs of those flyers to our colleagues on Zoom. And that concludes our presentation for this morning. I'd like to thank our speakers and our participants for joining us today to help us explore the resources that are available to help our local businesses succeed. And John.
Well, because the owl is so directed this way, we do have a job fair, August 29th. Our panelists can send their people there and get a table there. It's free for employers. It's up at the Lowe's Macy's, August 29th, 4 to 7. You should have about 100 employers there.
So that's what we have to share with you today. We'll be back again another day, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.